Hey there, I'm Miro and I'm making a new programming language for making native apps and video games. And these are 10 features which I think are really cool. Let's have a look. Hey there! It's free and open source. LIL is not a commercial project by a company. It's open source and free to use, and all the code is up on GitHub. No strings attached. It's easy to get started. Suppose you want to make a game. So most tutorials would have you download some external library first, then teach you how to set everything up until you finally reach the point where you can draw a single triangle. With LIL, your starting point will be an empty window into which you can start adding content and elements right away. Cross-platform. You want to run your game on as many platforms as possible. Suppose you want to add 10 more health points to your hero. It would make sense to only have to make this change on one single place in your codebase and have it affect all versions of your game. On the other hand, not all platforms are the same. So in LIL, you will be easily able to define code that runs only on certain platforms. So most of the code will be shared. The core of your game will be shared across all platforms. Declarative and procedural. Declarative programming is a style of writing new code where you define what should happen, but not exactly how. This usually results in very clean and readable code. But sometimes you need what some call a real programming language. One with functions, with control flow, with variables, etc. In LIL, you have all of that, right inside of the same language. You write your properties inside of rules and apply them in your document model. And when you go to implement, then you have at your disposal a fully featured procedural language. Snippets, like copy and paste. As developers, we like to work as efficiently as possible. That's why we like to structure our code in a way that can be reused multiple times, either inside the same project or across different projects. Snippets are a great way to express and even share pieces of code that form a logical unit. It can be pasted right where you need it with the paste instruction. Integrated build system. Using LIL, you won't need to worry about which build system to use, because the compiler will be the build system. You input your code, you let it do its thing, and out comes an app. No header files. One of the goals of LIL was to reduce the amount of boilerplate one needs to write. You don't need to create a separate header file containing the declarations of all the data structures and functions you are going to use from elsewhere in your code. Instead, you only write the implementations, and the declarations get extracted automatically when you link it from somewhere else in your code. It's a 2D and 3D rendering engine. There will be a whole rendering engine at your fingertips, ready to blast through the data and put frames on the screen. Worry about what makes your game special and not how each pixel is rendered. Documentation instructions. You know those comments people put at the top of functions to generate documentation with some third-party tool? Well, in LIL there is a language feature for that, and it even helps you to keep it up to date in case you change your functions but forget to change the documentation. Colors are written like in CSS. The way colors are expressed in LIL will make sense immediately to anyone who has ever used Photoshop or has worked in web design. But you have even more options, since you can express your colors using 1 or 2 letters for grayscale and between 3 and 8 letters for red, green, blue and alpha channels. So this was it for today. Stay tuned for my next episode, 10 more features of LIL. But next time I will talk about some more technical features of the language. If you're into that, hit the subscribe button and smash the like. So, what feature would you like to see in a new programming language? Leave a comment below.